Uh-oh. What's going on? Listen, something is wrong with the daggone virtual background of this daggone thing. Now, I done came in here, came into my settings, I done clicked all these different buttons and carrying on, and the SHIT is not working. Okay? So, the good thing is, I look good in green. Okay? So, can y'all hear me? Make sure that you can hear me, okay? Because that's the first thing. Can y'all hear me? That's the first thing. So, somebody, microphone check, 1, 2, what is this? Y'all didn't know I could beatbox. I know you people didn't know I could beatbox. Huh? Listen, let me tell you something. I'm from the old school. And we can basically do anything at any time, anywhere, with anybody. Listen, people. Listen, the green screen, I don't know why it's not working. I have one of the most expensive cameras. Something is wrong with StreamYard because it's not the cameras, it's not the computers. I got a couple of screens going on. I got a lot of buttons going on over here. Something wrong with StreamYard. So this will be the way I look for the rest of this podcast. Okay? So whatever. Judge not unless it be judged. Or you can judge. I really don't give a damn. Okay? Trump is president. Listen. I know you're mad. Oh, I know you're mad. Man, I know you're big mad. I mean, I'm talking about put a cape on and be super mad. I know. And I just want to say, I just want to say this before we get started. That just God bless everybody. God bless everybody. And we're going to be all right. And I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, Trump's your daddy. And oh, you think Trump's going to fix everything. And oh, what you think Trump going to do and all this other stuff. Well, this is what I have to say to you. Let's say Trump is not that great. It's better than Biden. He's better than Biden. And let's say, wait, hold on. The doctor's trying to get in. Nope. Let's make sure that the doc has the right link. Oh, there she go. Okay, yes, I see you now. Let's say that Trump is not that great. I mean, maybe he can't fix everything. You done burned up half the county in Los Angeles. You're trying to bring monkeypox, gorilla virus, and all this other stuff. You're doing all kind of stuff. So maybe, I don't know, the economy is garbage already when you start. I mean, you're basically starting them out in a sewer. But let's say he's not that great. Better than Kamala. That much I know. So, hey, dun 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 dun. That's how I feel. Okay? So whatever. So, I know y'all mad. I know a lot of y'all mad. God bless you. May his grace continue to shine on you. And, that's it. That's all we got for you because it's already done. This is not even what we're talking about today. The doc is in. I'm getting ready to bring her up, but I just want to just say a couple, 2, 3 things real quick. Next week, we're going to have somebody in that's going to talk about the trans stuff, but Ariel, but today we got somebody that's going to talk about relationship stuff. But anyway, I just want to say this. I did a video the other day about Snoop Dogg and his hypocrisy and how he talked about Trump like a dog, but then took that money and went over there and performed. Nelly, very proud of him. I should have put on my apple bottom jeans with the fur. That's what I should have done today, okay? Nelly very eloquently expressed and explained that he went and performed because that's the president. When the president calls you, you get your ASS. I'm going to cuss a little later, let 15 minutes roll by. You get your ASS up and you go and do what you're supposed to do because the president asked you. The Mississippi band, Mississippi, Alabama college, whatever it was, went down there and they did the little drumming and all that kind of old thing. The Negroes was in the building. And a lot of y'all are mad. Okay, I'm just poking fun at this point. At this point, I'm just poking fun. Cause I know your Negroes is mad, especially down south. Y'all pissed off. Y'all, well, I just shouldn't say that. Maybe not so much down south, but you're mad in California. And you know what? I'm just gonna say this one thing real quick. Y'all shouldn't be real mad in California. You need to be worried about how you can breathe, because they just started another fire in San Diego, and San Diego is what is it, 100 and something cerebral candy. How many miles is Los Angeles County from San Diego County? How many miles is it? We're not talking down the street, or we're talking a 2-hour drive, maybe 2.5 hours drive. Thank you so much, Stephanie, Mississippi Valley State University Band. We're talking 2.15, 2.5 hour drive from LA, from where these fires were. As a matter of fact, it might be close to 3. From Miami to San Diego, which is right on the border of Tijuana, Mexico. You done started some new fires down there. 120 miles. Thank you, Cerebral Candy. 120 miles, and you monkeys done started a new fire out there. Let me tell you something, California. You don't need to be worried about nothing but how you gonna breathe. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be figuring out, how are you gonna make it? The song says, never would have made it. You need to be figuring out how you're gonna make it, ho. That's what you need to be concentrating on. Because they're burning you down on purpose. Now, if they're burning you down, hold on, Dr. Shonna, I'm coming in. If they're burning you down because of the Olympics, San Diego ain't got nothing to do with the Olympics, baby. Because San Diego's 120 miles out. Ain't nobody staying in San Diego to go to Inglewood to see the Olympics. Okay? The math ain't mathing. The geography ain't mathing. Okay? So I don't know what's going on, but I tell you one thing for certain, two things for sure. You better figure out how to breathe, ho. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, tonight we have a special guest. I want y'all to get ready to put your hands together for someone who is not only smart, she's witty, she's from the East Coast. Y'all know how I feel about East Coast people. See, my soul is from Puerto Rico, because you know I'm into the salsa, which I will be doing tonight, by the way. But my spirit is from the East Coast. I am a New York City, Bronx, Bed-Stuy, stand-up girl. Always have been, okay? I'm born and raised in California, but I am Brooklyn. Everybody knows I am Brooklyn. My soul is Puerto Rican, but my spirit is from Brooklyn. My body is from California. Okay, I'm a Gemini, so I have a right to sparse myself out as so I see fit. Okay? So anyways, I've got a wonderful lady coming in who is brilliant. She's witty. She's a straight shooter just like me. I love her so much. You know, she rocks the sister locks, okay? And she's just absolutely phenomenal. And we're going to talk today about something that is so incredibly important that it seems to me people keep ignoring. They keep ignoring relationships. And we're going to talk about the problem that you're having in relationships. And then we're also going to talk about relationships within the Black community. So if you know any Black people, if you have not liked, shared, subscribed, do it now. Please don't make me keep asking you throughout the thing, because it messes up my train of thought when I have to stop and ask you, push like, share, subscribe. I don't want to have to keep doing that. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's just like when you tell a child, don't touch the stove. I got to keep telling you. Just do that. When you come in here, Push the like, share, subscribe. Call your friends. Text your mama. Tell her Petty Tuesday is going on. This is, in fact, the pettiest day of the week. I don't have to keep telling you over and over again. Let's just get along. Can we just go along to get along? I mean, hell. Okay, anyway. Y'all put your hands together for Dr. Shonna. Dr. Shonna is in the building, y'all. Put your hands together for Dr. Doesn't she look beautiful? Don't you agree? Don't you? You know what they said in Coming to America? Don't they look so lovely? Don't you agree? They look so lovely. Don't they agree?
Please sexual chocolate, baby.
Yeah, sexual chocolate is in the building. Okay, chocolate. Sexual chocolate. I believe the children are our future. Thank you. Dr. Shonna is in the building. Dr. Shonna is a licensed psychologist, and she is a marriage.
No,
what are you? You're not
licensed clinical social worker. I'm a doctor of social work.
Okay, doctor of social work and a licensed clinical. Say it again.
Social worker.
Social worker. Okay, licensed clinical social worker and a doctor of the marriage and the understanding of relationships. Yeah. Right? Okay. Now, Dr. Shonna, what is marriage?
Woo, child. See,
I'm gonna start off with the doozies.
You start off with the heavy one. That's the heavy hitter, and I'm like, how am I going to show up on Megan's show? Because Megan is full of life. She gives the and you know I'm so conservative.
Yeah, no, you not. Give me a break. You didn't came. Dr. Shonna came in with that fake blazer talking about she conservative. Go get out of here with that jazz.
On the outside. So marriage. What is marriage? I think that's an excellent question. When you sent me that question, I was like, damn, how can I really break it down for them so they can really understand how my brain works?
Do you see New York? Do you see New York?
Bronx all day, every day, baby. All day, every day, right? So I said, I want to be able to break it down so they can really understand it, because marriage means something different to everybody. Mm-hmm. So what are we talking about? We talking about marriage as an institution? Are we talking about marriage as a corporation? Mm-hmm. Are we talking about marriage as a covenant or marriage as a strategy? Which one would you like to talk about? Because they're not all the same.
Well,
so I think the problem is we jump into something we do not fully understand.
Wow.
And are we really having those direct conversations with the person we are set to marry or expecting to marry, should I say? Are we really asking them the same type of question? How do you view marriage? Because if you ask the average Black person, I'm not saying all, Black person, they're going to probably respond with marriage under the tenements of a covenant. A lot of people put the religious aspect on it.
Oh.
But that only applies to those who fall in that category.
Come on.
Right? So marriage as an institution, we're talking about a legal and social framework that is set for marriage that affects not only society, but future generations to come. So when you get divorced, you know how they say you lose half? Mm-hmm. That's the legal framework they're talking about. When you talk about marriage in that way, it sets what to expect, what you can legally benefit from when it comes for marriage, and what you can legally pass down to others based off of marriage, who gets to take of your assets. And we're talking about marriage as a corporation, which this is where I think a lot of people operate as, but then they put the covenant on it, which I think makes it kind of messy if you really think about it. But marriage as a corporation, I'm talking about a legal partnership. I'm talking about we are sharing each other's assets, or what we believe are assets. I'm talking about we're making joint decisions. We have shared responsibilities, because that's what's necessary for a business to run, is it not? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right? Mm-hmm. And we're talking about marriage as a covenant. That's when we start looking at the lifelong commitment. We start to say marriage is established through the oath, the covenant, what's identified in biblical teaching or Islamic teaching. This is where we come into when we think about what does religion say about marriage. It has biblical implications. It has Quran implications or in other faiths that go under marriage. I don't want to leave anybody out, but those are the two that govern my life, right? So
That's right.
those are the things that when you ask me that question, what is marriage? I said, I don't know what she want me to say and how she want me to respond to it. Because anytime a couple gets in front of me, I always ask the question, how do you define marriage? Because I want to know what you're governed by. I don't want to put any beliefs on you. And this is where it gets messy. Because some people bringing in God into it, and the other person's looking like, I don't want to be a part of that institution. They trying to hide assets. They're not sharing accounts.
This is where the Bible talks about be ye not unequally yoked. Meaning, you if one person is thinking of the covenant, another person is thinking of the corporation, somebody else is thinking of the legalities and so forth and so on, then you're not equally yoked. You really don't have a very clear understanding. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I would definitely say you're correct. But then also think about marriage as a strategy. Right? A strategy doesn't mean that it's necessarily built on love. And this is the kind of marriages we see a lot of people fall into. It's not necessarily built on love. This is like goal oriented. What are you hoping to accomplish here? Money, power, respect. And you be eating right. What are you hoping to accomplish? You understand what I'm trying to say?
Lil Kim.
Money, power,
respect. So you be eating right.
I'm just trying to say, are you trying to expand your influence? Are you trying to expand your territory? Is marrying this person going to open you up to their network? To the family you don't have? Do you now get a family? So you won't die alone? Now you have somebody to care for you when you're sick?
Wow.
People get married for all different types of reasons.
Wait a minute. I just had a conversation with a friend of mine yesterday. And I told her that you got to watch these older men who know that they're sickly. And now all of a sudden they want to get married because they want somebody to wipe that tail when they start boo-booing uncontrollably. And I just had this conversation yesterday. You got to watch these hoes. You got to watch.
Go with those people you talking about. They go for women that are extremely younger than them. I'm talking about 18, 25, 30 years younger than them.
Yes, they do.
And they get them really young where they can mold them.
So they can train them. I'm about to throw my... We just started this.
Because I'm not trying to throw rocks. I'm not trying to make anybody upset, but this is what it is. And then when that young girl starts to find out who she is and she enters her womanhood, she starts realizing this is not what I want. Now she's ready to leave because she's still young enough to start over. She's 34, 35 years old. She's still young enough to start over, take the kids, and leaves him by himself. And now he's 60. Now your dating pool is strained at 60. She still can go on and get remarried.
Right.
Because when she looked at marriage to you, it was a strategy. It wasn't a covenant.
Yeah.
It was a strategy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, somebody said, I put the comment up, somebody said it sounds like contractional. And it's so many people. Now, on one hand, love is blind. And so you end up being so emotional that you don't see the red flags that you need to be paying attention to. On the other hand, it is like you said, a contract of which terms need to be agreed upon. And so you have to understand what is the motivation for getting married. So my next question to you is marriage for everyone? Is it something that people should be trying to do? Because a lot of people are told you need to get married, you need to be married by this time, you need to be married in order to have children. Now, of course, we have the statistics. The statistics show that children who are raised in a two-parent home, particularly a home that is a married home, they fare much better. Well, of course, we know that is true because usually a lot of the burden is somewhat 50-50, maybe 60-40, 70-30, but it's not 100% on one individual person. So usually the children seem to fare a lot better when the father is in the home, when the mother is in the home, so forth and so on. However, that being said, it seems to me with an over 50% divorce rate and let me just go ahead and say this because I just might as well just put my stuff out there.
I'm listening.
The divorce rate of women to women, lesbians, women to women, the freaking divorce rate is 72%. If I had known that, I wouldn't have even bothered. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I would not have even bothered because
You could have been the
I'm
28%.
powerful, but I'm not that powerful.
You
Huh?
never know. You could have been the 28% that make it.
Oh, no. I ain't got time. I ain't got time to be no wonder. I don't have no time to be a marvelous and miraculous. I don't have that kind of time. If I had known that, what, how many minutes? If I had known that shit, I would have not, 72%.
No, but here's what I'm going to say to you, because you asked me a question: is marriage for everyone? It depends. What are the agreements? You said somebody in the audience said contract, right? Contractual. What are the agreements? What did you both, you and your wife, ex-wife, what did you both discuss prior to saying, let's go this long haul? What was she expecting? What were you expecting? Because it might be for a lot of people and it might not. I think we have to have an understanding. Didn't you say unequally yoked? We have to understand what these things, what are we expecting? What is it that we need?
Now, Dr. Shonna, I have a question now because see, here's the thing. See, here's the thing. A lot of people will agree and say, "Oh yeah, this is no, I'm with that, and that's okay, and da da da," because that's what happened to me. And so we were, from what I thought. Now, of course, hindsight is 2020, right? So there's a lot of things that I realize now that were red flags then. But that being said, there are a lot of times that people get in relationships with people and they seem to be on the same path. It's like, oh yeah, they said this and they agree with that. What is it exactly? How can we, I'm sorry about that. How can we as people see through these different layers of deceit? Because that's what it is. How can we see through these different layers? If you got to give us some tips and some tools, Dr. Shonna, because we're struggling out here. No, don't say I don't know. Don't come up here and say I don't know. No, you better think of something.
Listen, I'm very strong on words. You just said deceit. Here's what I want to challenge your thinking.
You damn right I said deceit, Dr. Shonna.
Wait.
Now, hell, you Bronx, I'm Brooklyn. I said deceit. Lie.
Let me challenge your belief, though, because what is truth and what is true are two different things. Truth never changes. Truth is the same today, tomorrow, and always. I was born a biological female. That is truth. That's never going to change. I don't care if I add a penis on. I don't care if I'm a man and you cut it off. When you cut me open inside, you will see that I was born biologically a female. That is the truth.
Okay.
True. Something could be true today and be false tomorrow.
Come on.
Today is Tuesday.
Tomorrow's Wednesday.
There you go. Today I said I love you with all my heart. I want to marry you forever. I'm so excited about you. And then a year from today, I said I hate this bitch. It doesn't mean that I was deceitful. It means that I was serious, that I love you, and oh my God, you were fantabulous. And then a year later, I'm seeing you for who you really are. And I'm saying, I don't like this. I don't want to commit to that. I don't want to be faithful or loyal to that. I can't do this no more. I don't love her anymore.
Now, what if the individual themselves change, not the other person?
That's true too. I can be true today. Like I said, if I say I don't love you next year, it doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. Things within me may have changed. Maybe I was like, oh, ride or die, and then all of a sudden I get out there and I meet different people and I want you to be like the people I'm meeting. I changed, not you.
Okay.
But it doesn't mean when I met you a year ago, I didn't love you.
That's good. Now she's talking good talk now. Are you people listening to what the lady is telling you?
Right.
Because
but when we say stuff like deceitful, it gives us permission to be angry and mad and not letting go. And I'm not saying this is true for you. I'm just saying that you got to be careful with words. I trust that my ex-husband loved me when I'm lying. Okay, no. He said he did, so it was true at that time.
Now she done did that whole thing. That whole thing. I was right there with you, Doc. I was
But
right
then I
there with you,
caught
Dr.
myself
Shonda. And then you
because
said,
I caught myself
well,
because I,
I'm
you know
not.
what, I do believe that he did and he does. We just love differently,
Yeah.
right? My
Yeah.
my love is not contingent on how you look.
Mm-hmm.
I cut off that perm hair and went natural. Had my teeny with a fro. I had my little fro, and he wasn't feeling that. He was
You were
like,
feeling.
body's right, face is right, but that hair ain't it.
Well, he should have waited because now you know, down the back line. He should have waited. He should have waited.
And now he's like,
You know.
you do look beautiful. I
Oh,
know I do.
well.
I
Well,
always
listen.
did.
Right. We ain't got nothing for you now. So, okay. I love the way that you said that because that is 100% correct. Words are, you know, I'm real big on words. So words are really, really important. It's not necessarily that the person was being deceitful at the beginning. What was true then was actually true. Maybe not the truth, but it was true at the time. That person did love you at that time. You did love that person at that time based on your current evolution or your current level of love or knowing or self-awareness or self-esteem or whatever. All of these different things. There's so many qualitative components that go into that. As
Right.
things change, you may grow apart and or one is growing and the other is not growing at all or whatever, things change. So is marriage, this is going to be a great question, so is marriage the acceptance of a person through their evolutionary change?
It can be. It depends on how I'm viewing marriage with that person. If it's a strategy, I don't care about your evolutionary change. When your money change, or your power change, or your influence change, or your network change, everything else changes. I'm not saying me as an individual, because you know I love my boo. I'm not saying me. I'm just saying in general. It depends on how we're viewing marriage. If we're talking about a covenant where lifelong commitment is the expectation, yes, that would be true.
Okay, so if it is a covenant, especially one sprinkled with religion and religiosity, then marriage is an acceptance through one's evolutionary change.
Right. If it's a
With
covenant,
a vow to stay together through that evolutionary change.
right. And even if it's a corporation or an institution, that can be applicable as well. Because remember,
Okay.
the institution, it affects society and generations to come. So you know that if we break, it has a rippling effect that impacts not only society, our family, and our children's children. So if you're looking at it through that lens and you're committed to the long haul, then yeah, you're going to change with the evolution of the person, and that person should be changing with the evolution of yourself. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So, what part
Does that
of
make sense what I'm saying? Because you know
it
sometimes I
does?
get too
It
break.
makes sense to me. Does it make sense to y'all? Y'all put it in the comments. There's people saying they love this conversation. They're loving this. Your hair is beautiful. All this thing. So it seems to me that the people are agreeing with what you're saying. Here's my question.
I hope they're picking up what I'm putting down because I know I'm very
It,
brainy.
yeah, you're picking up what you put it down. Put it down. So is there a part of marriage that will say, I loved you and that was my truth at the time. That was the truth. No, that was my truth. That was my truth at the time. My true at the time.
It
I
was
love
true
you
at the
enough
time.
now to let you go without any animosity.
Yes. Can everyone do that? No, because emotions is unstable. Emotion
Okay.
is energy, emotion is unstable, it's always changing. So you may have emotional development, you may have an emotional maturity, but we cannot expect the same to be true of our ex-partner.
Right.
They may not
Right.
be able to handle emotions the way you do.
Okay, let's get into a couple other questions. I think we
Okay, let's go.
got a good understanding of that. Somebody said I'm picking it up. Let me put that comment up here. Somebody said I'm picking it up. Yes, definitely. Yes, definitely
Thank you,
picking
baby.
it up. Okay, fantastic. All right. I'm gonna ask you this one question, and then we're gonna go into the
Okay.
Black community.
Ooh, we don't
Can
got enough
can
time for the black community.
no no no. We're gonna make time. We're gonna make time. Can a Republican be in a good relationship or a good marriage with a Democrat?
I don't see why not. Are you
Okay.
politically mature?
Okay.
Now,
Come on.
I want
Talk
to
that
say
talk
this.
now.
I want to say this because
Somebody said no. Somebody said no. I'm looking for a hell no. Well, I'm looking. Somebody said no. Hell no.
wait, hear me out, y'all. Hear me out
Okay.
because it's okay you say no. I had to write this one down because this one, you asked that question, I was like, ooh, that's a good question. And I got to make
Yeah.
sure I'm explaining myself as clearly as possible. Okay. Because I know this
Okay.
is a sensitive topic. I usually don't talk politics for this very reason, right?
Right.
My answer to that question was initially, I was like, why not? Now, is it based on emotions? Right. Listen to what I'm saying. Is it based on emotions? Because if it is, then we got some maturing to do. Or is it based on real concern? I'm not talking about imagined concerns.
Okay.
Imagined concerns. I'm talking about real concerns. Like, for example, if I'm an immigrant and my status, is questionable.
Are you an illegal immigrant or just an immigrant? Because that's two different immigrants now.
You are absolutely right. Now, let's say we
Am I
dated.
harboring and abetting a fugitive?
Say we dating, and you learned that I came over here on my HB1 visa.
Okay.
And
That's
it
legal.
expired.
That's legal. Okay.
And it expired. And it was
Okay.
time for me to go home.
Okay.
But I met you. Marriage as a strategy, right? And I'm coaxing you so that we can now get married because that would allow me to stay here and we can continue our union or our
Okay.
courtship,
Okay.
right? So it's a strategy.
Okay.
Now we married, and you
Okay.
know that I am here because I am married to you, but we haven't gotten my official stamp from the government that says you can stay, and I'm still under your control. Now we got these political people. Kamala says everybody can stay. Open up the gates. Let them all in. We love everybody. The killers, the rapists, the good people, the bad people. We want everybody because this is the land of the free. This is the land of opportunity. And I don't care if y'all cannot afford to live. These people, they can make it. You can make it. So we're going to let them all in. And I'm like, yes, I love Kamala. And you saying, hell no.
Hell no.
This
Hell
is
no.
crazy. No one speaks English in my child's school. Did you see what they get? I don't even understand the teacher. I need an interpreter. And she's supposed to speak. No, I don't want this. Let's just say that went down. It didn't go down that way. But let's just say it went down that way. And now we start coming up against each other because your decision can change a lot for me. That might be real. It may be imagined. But we know that I'm not yet with the golden stamp that says you can stay. So I start getting nervous. And now we start clashing. And I got to keep my mouth shut to try to convince you to vote for Kamala. I got to keep my mouth shut because if I get you angry enough and you say, nah, we ain't doing that shit, I'm revoking my shit, I might be going back. I would want to be aligned. I'm just saying. Before they send me back to Brazil, I would like to be aligned with somebody who is going to vote in my interest because that is a real concern for me. Now, we just arguing because we just faithful to a political party.
Okay.
And we believe anything and everything. Or we know they lying. We know that.
But isn't that a karmic effect though? Because you really had no business getting let me take that back. Because at the beginning of the podcast, you said that there are different types of relationships. So some relationships are not for love.
You broke up. I missed you.
I'm sorry. Can y'all hear me? Okay. Some relationships are not for love. Some relationships are contractual, which is what you said. So if the agreement is a contractual thing, because I was going to say, well, that's a karmic effect because you had no business getting married if you don't really love each other. But however, maybe love was not the main ingredient in that situation. The main ingredient was you need to stay here in order for us to continue to court or for you to continue to this and that, the other. But it seems to me that when you're doing something based on some level of manipulation, you deserve to get your ass sent back. That's what I'm saying.
But how
I
do
mean,
you
you
know?
understand what I'm saying?
I do. But if we're using that as an example, right? I'm from Brazil and my H-1B visa expired and I'm trying to marry you, but we already have that agreement. You in love with me. You say, yeah, baby, I'm going to marry you. You're going to stay. And this is before the political climate change. This is the new
Okay.
president's in 1 year, and we have already situated and scheduled each other a year in. We're used to the president, the current president. Then all of a sudden it's election year. And now
Okay.
I'm seeing things come out of you that I didn't see before. How would I have been deceptive? How is that karmic if I didn't see that?
Yeah, well, it's not necessarily that you didn't see something. It's that the Brazilian is trying to stay in America, not necessarily trying to be in my life. Only being in my life is secondary, it seems to me. And so now that I have changed, because see, if it's real love, now I guess I'm talking more covenant based and or love based. If it's
But now
real
you're
love, then
talking
I can just
emotion.
take my ass to Brazil.
Because how I look at it is you're talking emotion at this time. Because now
Well, emotion, covenant, love. I mean, damn. Is there no emotion in marriage, Dr. Shonna?
there is. You know I'm an Aquarius. We put them shits on the back burner. But there is.
That's your problem. See, that's my problem.
problem.
See, I'm a Gemini, so my emotions is up top. You understand? Now, I am rational, very logical. But my emotions is up top, and I always have to tell myself, Megan, being too emotional, you got to relax. You got to chill. Because I will, I'm ready. I'm ready at all times based on emotions. But then I have to sit back a little bit and be logical. But I do understand exactly what you're saying. There are certain levels to marriage, and that's why I'm so happy that Dr. Shonna is on here with us to help us really understand this stuff, because it's really, really important to understand that somebody can be thinking of marriage in one way and another person can be thinking of marriage in a totally different way. And
Right.
when I say thinking, I really should be using the words belief, because it's not just a thinking, it is a
It's a belief.
ideology that is within their entire being. And
Right.
if one person is thinking of it transactionally and another person is thinking of it emotionally, then we're going to have a problem when shit falls down.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Somebody else said they're Aquarius too.
So then you get
When,
it. You understand where I'm coming from.
yeah, when shit falls down, then it's a little different. Okay, come on, we got to go into something.
Let me say one more thing to you about. Let me say one, because the question was, can two people that have different political views marry? We could be in a marriage for 8 years and everything is going smoothly, and then all of a sudden your political views change, or my political views change. What, we going to get divorced? It doesn't make sense.
I don't think so. Yeah, I agree
Right?
with you 100%.
And who's to say we have to stay the same? I don't want to stay the same.
I don't either.
I want to go where my needs are. And if
Yeah.
that means leaving one party for the next, then I would do that. I'm not committed to nobody's party.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Well, you
So,
should be.
but would you divorce me now because I changed?
Yeah. 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 I agree with you 110%. Without change, there is no progress. And what I feel is the most detrimental thing that has happened in our country is people are not having conversations. They're not
No, they're
conversing
not.
at all.
They're
And
emotional. They
they're
love
emotional.
you.
Yeah,
Baby, I love you. I love
yeah,
you.
I love you, and that's it. And they're not having conversations. They're not being respectful. They're not willing to listen from both sides. From both sides. This is not just one side, but this is from both sides. I think that there is something to it that the liberals, the Democrats, are really struggling and not being heard of the struggle. And they're really in bad shape. And so there needs to be a lot of help. And so that's why I decided, when I came back to my Petty Tuesdays this year, I wanted to have conversations where people can actually learn something. I don't want to just browbeat all the time. I think that enough of that is going on. I want to be able to show people that we should be able to talk. If I can't talk to you, baby, I can't help you. You know what I'm saying? And if I can't hear you, then I can't help you either, and vice
Right.
versa. I think that what has happened politically in relationships, what has happened is people have just completely closed their ears. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. And it's like, well, you have to hear it, because if your girlfriend or your boyfriend is from Brazil, you have to hear about their needs.
Right.
Whatever
Right.
it may be, whatever the motivative reason or the
Right.
objective was, that's not the point at this time. At this time, it is, well, what is it? What are we going to do about it? Let's get into
Right.
something real quick, because we're going to go on to this next topic. Because
Okay,
I
I'm
got
glad
to
you cut
hear
it, because I can
what
go
you have to
deeper,
say.
baby.
I
I
know
can
you
go
can.
deeper.
I know you can, but we're going to do this real quick.
I like that picture. Put it back up. Look at your locks. They're so pretty, my locks, sister.
Wait. Don't confuse me what I'm doing.
Okay.
When they do things right, and the most overly scrutinized when they make a mistake. And
so what if the black woman...
Let me start it over.
while I think that Black women are the least protected in America, 3Ks, I think that Black men are the most underappreciated when they do things right, and the most overly scrutinized when they make a mistake. And
so what if the black woman is the most unprotected? Then whose fault is that? If the black woman isn't protected, then that means that the black man isn't protecting her. I don't hear Asian women saying we're the least protected. I don't hear white women saying we're the least protected. I don't hear Hispanic women saying we're the least protected. I only hear black women saying that. So that means that black women unanimously agree that the black man doesn't have enough strength or courage to protect her. Which is why I say that most black women don't respect black men. They don't look at him as a man. They look at him as a failure they feel sorry for. That's different. So if the black man is underappreciated, I say to that, so what? If the black man is overly criticized, I say to that, so what? What is a man promised in this life? Nothing. America even says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It don't say life, liberty, and guaranteed happiness. It says life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Because happiness is your choice.
All right. I see. Did you all see Dr. Shonna doing all like this? Like she was waiting very patiently for my video.
This is why I left social media. This is why I'm so inactive. I can't. Oh my God. I can't.
She said, this is why I've left social media. Why you gotta announce that on Petty Tuesday, Doc? Doc said, this is why I don't do these.
Because I told myself I was coming back, and then you played that. And I said, oh, I remember why I left. I remember why I left. I'm so tired of this nonsense. But this is your show. Have it your way.
Okay, come on. Dr. Shonna, what is your reaction to that video, to what the lady said, that she feels that black men are underappreciated and under-respected, and then Blanche's response, which is, so what? Because black men are supposed to be protecting black women.
So who are the black men we talking about? Because I know mine protects me. So who are we talking about?
Well, I think it's a generality. Because
And that's
of
the
course
problem that I
I
have.
know several black men that are absolutely wonderful people.
That's
But
the
I
problem that
also
we
know-
have.
Huh?
Because I said that's the problem that I have. We're not a monolith. Black men are not a monolith. So who are we talking to, number one? Number two, another thing that I have a problem with that, besides the generalization, Mr. Sir. Oh, was that a sir? I don't know. I don't want to be.
Which one, the girl or the guy talking?
Oh, that was a guy. So what?
Yes, as a guy, that's Blanchard. Don't talk about my brother now. Now, don't do that. Come on, I can't have that. You talking about the dude with the mustache?
I couldn't see that far.
Nah, don't. No, well, put on
I
your
couldn't see
glasses.
that far.
Come
I'm
on,
not
now put
being
your glasses
funny.
on. Now, don't act like that.
I
Now, this is
it's small
Blanchard
on my
now.
baby girl. It's small on my screen. It's small on my screen, and sometimes I just don't know what's what anymore. So I didn't know.
Well, no, you got a point there. Because I actually thought that the girl was a dude, to be honest with you. Because dude looks like a lady. Yeah, I definitely, I actually thought that girl right there, I thought that was a dude. So you fine. Okay,
Okay.
yes, go ahead. Yes, that's black.
You made me lose my train of thought. I wasn't even trying to be
Okay,
funny. I always
you
get
were
in trouble. This is why I'm quiet. I can't say nothing.
you were saying.
They just be
First
mad.
of all, I was asking you, is it black men are they supposed to support women? And you said, well, which black
Oh,
men are we talking about? Because my man, so and so on. And then you were saying,
okay.
who is the
So
dude?
here's what I'm saying. What really is a pet peeve of mine is when people
Mm-hmm.
say, I don't hear Asian women saying this. I don't hear white women saying this. I don't hear Hispanic women. I hate when they do that. How much experience do you have working directly with these populations about the most secretive forms of their life, such as marriage and relationship? I do.
Okay, fair,
I do. And just because they
fair.
don't take to social media to bash their men or bash their women, it doesn't mean that they don't have concerns. See, why I hate these kinds of conversations, because it makes us all look bad. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
help us as a community. It actually hurts us as a community. We make all these assumptions about other communities. And if I only told you how many Asian women and men I work with where she out earns him, if
Mm-hmm.
I only told you how many Indian women and men I work with where she out earns him,
Mm-hmm.
how many white women I work with where she out earns him and still feels she's the most disrespected.
Mm. Mm.
We're so
Okay.
narrow-minded, and we bring these things to the social media platform where all types of people listen in and they draw conclusions about us as a community. So then when we have a good man or a good woman who just happens to be black, we already assume things about them.
Okay.
I don't like
Okay.
the discussion.
Okay. Well, we have
And
to
when
have a
we say the
discussion.
black women are not protected, who are we talking about?
Well, Malcolm X is the one who said it.
No,
He said it.
I understand when he said it in that context. And I'm not saying
Okay.
that, I'm not saying by large, the macro of it all,
Uh-huh.
we're not
Mm-hmm.
protected, the macro of it all, right? But I'm not going to sit up here and say that all black men don't protect black. I'm not saying that nonsense. I'm
Okay.
not saying that when you start dividing us through economics and class and certain demographics, I'm not going to say that certain people that fall in certain categories don't protect their women. I'm not going to say, who are we talking about?
Okay. Okay.
If
All right.
you want me to talk about maybe, and I'm not saying this to be nasty or rude, I'm telling you how my brain operates. Because
Okay.
I see so many couples, and we're going to break this down. If we're talking about maybe a black man who society has emasculated him, maybe his childhood has failed him, and he has so many adversities stacked against him, and
Mm-hmm.
he is still struggling with his esteem, and a sister just happens to give him an opportunity, and she knows where he's at, the low level she's at, but she's expecting him to be up here, and there's a lot of clashing in their relationship, a lot of emasculation and disrespect, because neither one of them have learned the socialization or the science of marriage and relationship, so they're both failing at it.
Mm-hmm.
Then if you want to talk
Mm-hmm.
about that population of people, then yes, I would agree with you. If you're talking
Mm.
about those who are college educated and they're considered upper tier and they're making two, three, $400,000 in their household and they're both working and they're living in communities where they are feeling respected and loved, then that may not be the case for them.
Mm.
Who
Mm.
are we talking about? Because you cannot put me in a category with people who don't know how to have conversations. Because arguments in my household look just like this.
Mm-hmm.
We sit
Mm-hmm.
down at the table and we hash it out. Or we have a
Mm-hmm.
drink and we sit down at my bar and we hash it out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we
Okay.
solve it because we have learned through our careers and our education how to problem solve. If you're talking about us, I don't know about that because he's armed and I'm armed and we protected. I don't know who you're
Mm-hmm.
talking about.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So let's. Okay. So would it be fair to kind of put it together, that what you're saying is that it's not necessarily a race thing or even a cultural thing. Would that be fair? Or we could keep
No,
cultural
it could
out?
be a cultural thing.
Could
But
be a
we're
cultural
all
thing.
not.
Okay,
We're
good.
all.
Okay, good.
We're not
Because
all
I
of
was
the
gonna get
same
into that.
culture.
Okay, so I was going to get into that. Okay, so it's not necessarily a race thing. It is more so the traumatic experiences that one has experienced in childhood or either in earlier life of which they have not yet healed. And then also the demographics, which could mean the financial parts of it, so forth and so on, which cause people to be at war with each other. And there are quite a
In
few
adversity.
black people in adversity.
In
And there are
adversity.
quite a few black people that seem to find themselves in that same place. Would that be fair?
Right. So let me put that into perspective.
Okay.
Since people like to have the stereotype of, we all come from single parent household, even though I did, right? But look at me. I'm just saying. But I'm going to take it this way. Let's say I came from a 2-parent household and my dad had a drinking problem, right? And my mom was cheating on my dad, but they refused to get divorced. And I grew up in that traumatic experience. With mommy having to deal with him and his drinking and him having to deal with her and her cheating. These are very real households that I treat people growing up in those households. And I've never seen my mother or my father solve issues, and they never talked to me about the science of dating and relationships and marriage. I didn't know that. I just know you get married and this is what you do. This is you might get in arguments, you might fight, but you stay together and you raise your kids, and there's all this trauma in the household. Now I go out and let's say I defeat the odds. I go off and I get a college education and I meet my husband in college, and then eventually we get married, but I haven't did the work to deal with those traumas that I experienced. And now I start seeing things in my husband that reminds me of my daddy. How am I going to show up? So now I become flippant with my mouth. I'm now cutting below the level, right? I'm jabbing. I'm jabbing in the thighs. I got your Achilles heel. I'm just messing you up because that's what I saw growing up. And then you just happen to say, I'm tired of dealing with you, you stupid bitch. And now I'm the most disrespected person on earth.
You broke that down way too simple. Now that wasn't fair, Doc. You broke that down
I
way
can make it messy. I can get more complicated.
Yeah. But no, you're I understand absolutely. So let me play because that you and I this is why I wanted Dr. Shonna on here, because I wanted her to be able to break some of this stuff down in scenarios and in ways that you can really understand what's going on in relationships and what's going on in marriages. Because a lot of people just think like, oh my God, we love each other, let's get married. And it is so much deeper than that. There are so many different nuances and caveats that come in, that are involved and come with marriage. And if we are not paying attention, we end up in very, very traumatic and stressful situations. I am raising my hand. And so what it seems to me is that, again, the understanding of what marriage is, but also understanding if you are even supposed to be married, and if you're supposed to be married right now, based on the fact that you have or have not healed. But how do you know that you have or have not healed? Because in the example that you just gave, if marriage looks like your mother and father, you won't know any better.
You won't. You won't.
You won't know any better. You will think that marriage is you shooting off at the mouth and cheating, and your husband getting drunk and maybe hitting you across the face every now and then.
Well, he
You'll
doesn't
think
even
that
have to
that's
put
what
his
marriage
hands on
is.
you. He doesn't even have to necessarily put his hands on you.
Right. Well, I just threw that out there. But I'm just saying, so whatever verbal abuse, physical abuse, whatever. He's drunk, so maybe he's not. Maybe
He
he didn't say
just
anything at all.
might be drunk. He might just like to be
didn't say anything
drinking.
at all. But whatever it is that your parents stayed together for 45 years, even though it was a volatile situation, they stayed together. Now,
And
that being
raised
as
you
it may,
in that.
that being as it may, I love Blanche. Blanche has been on my show. I love him. I personally, you there?
I'm
Take a
back.
picture.
Somebody was
Okay.
calling.
Okay, don't call Dr. Shonna right
I
now.
know,
She's on
disrespectful.
Petty Tuesday. Okay, whoever's calling, stop doing it. She's on Petty Tuesday with Megan McGraw.
Hello.
Now, I love Blanche. He's been on the show. And I actually agree with him. I agree with him. And the reason why I agree with him is because culturally, the not the melanated, because you know I'm a part of the melanated community. The black community has just, oh God, I don't even know.
Are you
the
talking about
word.
American blacks? Are you talking about Nigerians? Are you talking about Jamaicans? Are you talking about
I'm
Trinidad?
not talking about
Haitians?
Nigerians and Jamaicans because we'll be here all night. I'm not talking about Nigerians and Jamaicans. Don't bring in bubble to don't boom boom and blood clots. I'm not doing that. Okay, we're talking about American Negroes. Okay? The black culture within America, okay, has 100%, in my personal opinion and my personal observation, whether it is because the white man paid them to do it, because we're not going to get into all that, because you're from New York, so I know that, you know, they pay the rappers to do this and the other. Whether it's the white man paid them or the powers that be did this and the other, put crack in the neighborhoods, whatever, that's not the point. It seems to me that within the black culture, the majority of black men do not like black women. They may love them, but they don't like them. And they don't seem to respect them in a way that is protective and or honorable. I'll give you an example. I was on the phone with a friend of mine today. She was somewhere and a man just touched her on her butt. A black man. She's black. And he just grabbed her butt. Like nothing. And she turned to him and said, what the, yo, like, you can't just grab me on my butt. Like, what are you doing? Like, you know, and he didn't even say anything. We see all kinds of interactions where it's a lot of cussing out and this and that. Now, I will say, before I let you, tell me what you want to tell me, I will say that black women have 100% lowered their entire self-respect. You just out here with the chlamydia colored lipstick and all. I mean, it's just too much. I mean, you just done way too much. You don't cook. You can't clean. Your kids are snappy headed. You're walking around looking retarded. You're talking crazy. You're writing songs talking about "Ask my baby daddy." I mean, you're doing all kinds of stuff. What you say?
What class of black women are you speaking to? What class?
I'm just talking about. I said the majority of the culture, not the classes.
The hip hop culture, the jazz culture.
Not the jazz. Well, you know what? I'm going to stick with what I said. The majority of the black culture. I'm not going to get into the microcosms. I'm talking about macro. Majority of the black.
Not macro. We are big as hell.
And I'm talking about the biggest hell black community of America. That black men have shown themselves to not like black women.
That you see on social media, that you see. Well, listen.
No, I see it in. What are you talking about, Dr. Shauna? I see it in person all the time. These Negroes,
the propaganda.
You, Dr. Shauna.
Well, let me jump back for a second. I love my black community. I'm not speaking negative of them. Let me jump back for a second.
Okay, jump back.
Let me jump back for a second. Let's give the same scenario about the black woman and her behind is grabbed by another black man. Y'all can look up this story. Harlem, New York. Now, this is maybe 3-4 years ago. I don't know the time frame, but Harlem, New York. Woman comes home, black man grabs her ass, disrespects her. She goes into her building. This is around the 7th Avenue, 135th Street, 132nd Street, somewhere around that. Goes into the building, tells her fiance, who is a black man, what this fool outside did. Fiance comes outside like, let me holler at you for a minute. Let me talk to you for a minute because he's there to protect his black queen. And that dude that grabbed her behind put a bullet in him. Killed him in front of her. Dead.
Mm-hmm. A black dude killed another black dude.
The black dude that grabbed his black woman's behind killed her black fiance as he came outside to protect her.
Okay.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. I'm listening.
It gets complicated, doesn't it?
Well, it just sounds on black crime to me. But Michi X said I can't say
But
that.
But it all started with a black man. It all started with the black man disrespecting a black woman, and her black man came out to protect her.
Okay. I'm following.
So when we talk about protection, what kind of protection are we referring to?
Well,
I can give you a lot of those stories.
Referring to the point that I just made, Dr. Shonna, the majority inside of the black American culture, the majority of black men do not like, they may love, but they do not like, honor, or respect black women. And we'll have to do another show to talk about
We'll have
why.
to do another show. And I will bring you
why.
Because I can turn around and say the same thing about black women. I can say that black women don't like black men.
I agree. I agree.
I just don't understand why we get into these kinds of conversations.
We get into these conversations,
and both would be correct. And both would be correct. So what do we do?
Talk about it, Dr. Shonna.
What do we do then? Marry white people? What do we do now? See, that's the problem. We focus on the negative too much. Let's focus on the black kings and queens that do great.
I'm not focused.
Because my world looks different.
Okay, I understand.
Where energy goes, focus go. My energy goes on positivity. So my focus is on it.
Philosophical. I'm just saying.
I love you, babe. I love you. You know you my sister queen. I
love Dr. Shonna. Because see, Dr. Shonna gonna make you stretch. She gonna make you stretch your mind.
I'm gonna make you stretch.
She'll make you stretch. And by the way, Dr. Shonna, before we get off here, tell the people where they can find you. Marriage counseling, relationship counseling, all that stuff. Dr. Shonna is the SHIT. I'm telling you. Where can they find you? She also takes insurance. You take insurance, don't you?
I do. So I'm licensed currently in Utah and in New Jersey. I should be getting my New York license soon, so that's good, and my Georgia license. My Pennsylvania license. I should be getting those things soon. But right now, currently, New York and Utah. Now, how does that work? Let's say, for example, New Jersey and Utah. Let's say, for example, you live in New York, but you work in New Jersey. You can still see me. You just have to use your Jersey address of where you log in at so you can see me. You can find me on ZocDoc. There you'll see my reviews. I just learned from the people that I work with that they love my reviews. So you can find me on ZocDoc by putting in my first name. It's actually Shonna. Put the VA in front of the Shonna. If you just put Dr. Shonna, everything about me is going to come up. Okay, you're going to find me on Instagram. You're going to find me on Facebook. You're going to find me on YouTube. If you go to my Instagram and you put for counseling, it's going to take you right to my Headway account. If you just go ahead and put in my last name, Dr. Etienne, and you put it in ZocDoc, it's going to come up there too. You're going to find me. Okay,
so you guys look up Dr. Shonna.
Somebody said, no, it's over already. It is, and we're just getting started. The black community is deeper.
I know, but
we gotta keep me
on there all night.
I'm gonna fight for my black people. You ain't gonna make us all look bad.
I'm not making all of us look bad, Dr. Shonna.
Your
niggas is making you look bad. Now listen, what I'm trying to say is the majority. I did not say all. I said the majority. And we've got example after example, Dr. Shonna, of these Negroes acting like fools, vice versa. I'm not talking about just black men. I'm talking about black women as well. I personally think that black men and black women do not like each other. That's what I think. I think that we somehow are stuck with each other. We're stuck.
I think that the majority of black men and black women mind has been conditioned and whitewashed, and we are now confused. That's
okay.
what I think.
Well, whether it's because we're conditioned, whether it's because we're manipulated, bamboozled, and run amok, it does not matter. The bottom line is, at this point, black people, the majority of black people in communities like Chicago, like Detroit, like Los Angeles, like Memphis, Tennessee, like Miami, they are the most disrespectful to each other. It is disgusting to watch. There is no respect of any kind.
So now we get into class divide. And you don't want to hear it. You just name all those areas that are inner cities, urban areas.
But Dr.
Megan, don't
Shonna,
do this to me.
there's rich black people that don't like each other.
And you telling me the rich black people be out there acting a fool and they can speak, they have the same experiences as all of us. That's what you're telling me?
I'm telling you that rich black people like Rick Ross runs through black women
Rick Ross?
like toilet paper.
Rick Ross?
He's rich. He's rich. He doesn't have money problems. That's not one of his problems.
If we're going
He
into
doesn't
that
have-
category, celebrities.
Okay, well, do you want me to just throw up a name of some regular person who works at the county? I mean,
Yes, please give me some real life people. Yes.
Thomas
Don't
Brown.
give me no celebrities. Screw celebrities.
Mr. Thomas Brown. He works at the DMV over here down at
And he
at
has
Tampa.
a good wife. He has
and
a
he
good wife.
and he doesn't like his wife because
He
this, that, and
loves
the
his
third.
wife. Mr. Thomas Brown got a good life. They put their kids through college. They've been married 35 years. They just
Man,
love each other.
stop playing, man. So, but what I'm saying is that I feel that regardless of the root, and I think that I should not say regardless because the root is very important. Whatever the root is, whatever the cause is, my concern is that we as, well, I don't really like to say we, y'all.
That's right. I was going to say, who you talking about when you say we?
What
Who we
I'm saying
talking about?
is, what I'm saying is that my concern is that the black culture, the black American culture as a whole, is destined for destruction
I agree with that.
if we cannot find a way to not just be obligated in love, but find a way to genuinely like each other again. We are in big trouble. We're headed for
So
destruction.
with that, just that, and I'm not gonna separate it by sex. That and that statement alone, yes, I agree with that.
Yeah. I think that's the main point that I'm.
All right,
going
we
to.
found common ground. We found common ground.
Well, we gonna always find common ground, Doc, 'cause I
No,
love
black
you. Come on
women.
there.
Black women don't like black women. Black men don't like black men. I'm just saying. I just don't want to get into this thing where I separate and make a battle of a sex, and it makes it harder for me to reunify us as black men and black women. Black women don't even like black women.
Facts.
Black women are disrespectful to other black women. They have this black girl magic sisterhood thing. No, it doesn't exist. I love sis. You see that, bitch? Sit down somewhere.
Yeah.
And I've been studying them in the groups that I'm in, and I'm watching how they're behaving.
Yeah. Well, there's so much self-hate that it's just
That
not
I
even-
agree with.
There's so much self-hate. I mean, it's hard to watch, and it's just scary to even be somewhat of a resemblance of, because I'm melanated, so I resemble that, but I am nothing like it at all. And just to be on the outside watching is just, it's heartbreaking, because you're right. Black women don't like black women. Black men don't like black men. Black men don't like black women. Black women don't like black men. And none of them love the children. None of
But
them.
I love you.
I love you too, Dr. Shonna. Listen, you can find Dr. Shonna everywhere.
Everywhere.
And don't be in here talking about y'all don't need no therapy, because you do. You need marriage counseling. You need couples counseling. She talks to the lesbians. She talks to the gays. She talks to the Asians,
The gays,
the whites,
the gays.
the gays, the lesbians, the whites, the trans, the Asians, the Mexican, the Latinos, everybody. She talks to everybody. And as you can see, She is going to push you to stretch so that you can come to a common ground, so that you can figure out exactly what is the cause and how are you going to get to the desired reality or the desired effect that you want. She is going to take you step by step by step, and she's going to force you to think. She's going to force you to really understand who you are. And so, Petty Tuesday, put your hands together for Dr. Shonna. She has come in all the way from that good old New Jersey by way of the Bronx.
Every day.
By way of the Bronx.
And then I
Please
got
don't
bougie.
sleep.
And then I got bougie.
Then you got bougie. Then she got bougie. So we had
Unless you
Dr.
run up on
Tracy
me.
in.
Unless
We
you
had-
run up on me, then
Right.
you gonna get the Bronx.
Right. We had Dr.
You heard.
Tracy in, who was from Brooklyn. We had Michi X, who's from Detroit. You know, I'm trying to get all my riders in, all my rough riders in. I'm doing the best I can. I got to get them all in. You guys put your hands together again for Dr. Shonna. I love you, sis.
I love you too. You know I'm always gonna love you.
I love you so much, and thank you so much for stretching us tonight. We out this mug.
All right.
Peace.